What did you think? What do you guys think?
Just talk normally, dude.
No, I will not. What do you guys think of Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor in the new Batman vs. Superman?
Okay, well, regardless of his acting ability, because I don't want to pigeonhole any one given actor until I've actually seen them do more things.
Yeah, I've only seen him do this kind of like awkward.
Yeah, like there was that movie.
It wasn't really like awkward in the Social Network.
I wouldn't say awkward, but he was definitely playing like sort of a fringe character. He's like a loner and he's kind of unlikable, which I really loved The Social Network. I thought he was great in it.
Yeah.
And then there are other movies where he like that. What was that pizza movie? Like the 20 Minutes or Less?
Yeah.
Oh, him and Azim.
Aziz Ansari. And also Danny McBride.
I fell asleep during that movie.
Really? Really?
No,
the previews were amazing.
I'm not going to
I fell asleep
amazing.
within minutes.
It's not a great film. It's not a terrible film.
No, you make that movie 45 minutes.
I think I fell asleep within the first 5 minutes. And I almost never
wow.
fall asleep during anything, and I was usually rewatch, but I just had no...
Final Fantasy Spirits Within, I fell asleep.
That was a horrible
That's a
film.
well, yeah.
But with Jesse Eisenberg, I know you're going on. But I'm just gonna quickly say one thing because I had a huge fight with Barker about this, one of our other buddies the other day, and like, he was all mad about it. But one thing, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be my first or like second choice, but when I was thinking about it more, I think he's already shown that he can play an intelligent character, which is a huge part.
Yeah.
Of the Lex Luthor thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, there are parts of The Social Network, if you rewatch it, he does come across as a bit ruthless and, like, menacing. There's certain scenes.
You need that with Lex
And there's
Luthor.
and I know, like, the argument, like, Barker was saying, was like, well, he looks too young. Like, well, this is supposed to be the beginning of Superman's tale.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes sense for him to
I have
be younger.
no problem with his age being Lex Luthor. Every movie adaptation of Lex Luthor so far has been kind of this goofy thing. Like, Gene Hackman... I guess it was in the 70s or whatever when it was made, all that stuff.
He's more a bumbling fool. On those
Yeah.
lines. And then the Kevin Spacey one felt like more like a character.
I think that he was just feeding off of
Gene Hackman.
Well, like Kevin Spacey kind of went for a slightly different take on Luthor, because there's like different versions of Luthor in the comic.
Yeah.
There's like the original Luthor, who isn't a supervillain. He's like a scam artist.
Yeah.
He's like a big con artist who's trying to con the whole world.
He always wants land.
And yeah, he always wants. He's like, I want money, I want land.
Yeah, Superman.
But like later on, he becomes a villain.
Yeah.
And then, like, because they basically rewrite him as a scientist and a genius. Because before, he was just a really good con artist.
The best adaptation of Lex Luthor I've seen has been in the animated Lex Luthor in Superman.
Oh, yeah.
And Justice League.
Yeah.
The DC animated things are.
Not to mention he has a great voice in that.
Yeah.
I have no idea who the voice actor for that is.
Guy.
No,
Look him up.
Not that there's anything wrong with
He's
him.
got a good temper.
Hey, you guys seen
It sounds like a
Highlander?
black guy.
No, it's not a black guy. You seen Highlander? He's the
Like the
main
movie,
bad.
the
Yeah,
original
Highlander the movie.
Okay.
The Kurgan. You know the Kurgan where he's got the slit throat? That's the
Okay,
guy who's
put
Lex
the
Luthor.
guy's name on screen. Put a picture.
Yeah,
This is him.
The picture will pop up now. There you go.
Who like honestly, like my big thing with all films, like I know people were up in arms about Ben Affleck, and I actually like Ben Affleck.
Yeah, no.
As I understand your argument, and I agreed with that. And how
My argument being that he's Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and like
when you see him when you see any movie, say Will Smith, for example, Tom Cruise, when you see a movie with them, I love those actors, they're great, but you see them, you're like, you don't remember him as Will Smith was, oh, that's David in that movie. You think, oh, that was Will Smith. Will Smith did this. So when I watch this, it won't be, oh, that's Bruce Wayne, when Ben Affleck did this, and that might ruin it for me.
it's hard because like especially Ben Affleck's not known as like a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where he's not big for like. And like I said, I do like Ben Affleck, but he's not one who usually like steps out like when Heath Ledger was first casted as the Joker. I know I wasn't one of those people like this movie's gonna suck, but I was still kind of like it just seemed kind of weird, right? Yeah. But Heath Ledger was a great character actor, right? But with Batman, there's not really much you can like go over the top. You can't be like I'm the Batman. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was.
You don't think he can ruin it?
I think he visually looks like, especially if you look at we're speaking about
the
old animated one.
Yeah,
the job.
Good voice.
The old animated cartoon, he looks like Batman or Bruce Wayne from the animated cartoon.
He does actually.
Like the Bruce
Never
Timm
thought
style.
about that.
Yeah. He totally looks like. And so I'll be able to, but like I understand your point about the casting of that, but like in general, what I was getting to before we went back on Batman was that I like to try to like, even if I don't like a casting, I like to see how it goes.
I've always kind of been a wait and see person.
Yeah.
I try not to get too wrapped up in the casting, even though we're all talking about it. But here's my thoughts and feelings on Ben Affleck real quick before we go on. Is yes, he's Ben Affleck, and he's like eternally Ben Affleck. But you know, same thing with Clooney, and look how good that turned out.
One thing, Ben Affleck is the largest guy to ever play Batman, though.
That's true.
He's bulked up quite a bit in the town.
Oh, he was jacked in the town, man.
Yeah,
it's like looking
and
in
he's
a
a great
mirror.
director in Argo and stuff. He's actually being a great director. I'm kind of sad to see him being directed by someone else again.
See,
but
there's a lot of rumor about like the reason that they gave him the part of Batman is so that they'll potentially be able to get him to direct like Justice League, because they're like, this guy's a great director. Okay. If we give him this part that he would like love to have, maybe he'll be ingratiated to us. He will direct the movie.
I'm hearing rumors that he hurt himself somehow and he's not going to play Batman anymore. I don't know.
Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
I was just reading online right now that his wife. Actually, today I read online that his wife Jennifer Garner said that they're starting filming this summer.
Okay, good.
She made a comment that she's seen the bat suit. I thought it was so funny. It's like Jennifer Garner says the bat suit looks super cool. I'm like, of course his wife's gonna be like what girl's not gonna be turned on by her big hunky sexy husband wearing a Batman suit? Hell, I'd be turned on seeing him wearing a Batman suit.
Do you think the Batman suit is really something that turns Jennifer Garner's crank?
I think the Batman suit is something that turns on every woman. I don't think there's a superhero that women find more sexy than the Batman. Like, really?
What does that say about women, though? The
they
scary, dark, brooding one who potentially abusive.
Well, the mystery of the belt.
It's the whole dominatrix thing. I don't know what it is, but there's the mysterious part of it.
But Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
My only concern, and this is like, I'm getting small here. I'm not worried about him as an actor. I'm not worried that he's too young. I'm not worried that he's too small. I'm worried about his voice.
Yeah?
This is my only thing, is I don't think he has like an imposing or like a scary voice. I'm worried that, because Luthor, the one thing he doesn't need to be big, he doesn't need to be this. I feel like he needs to have like a certain timbre to his voice, and he needs to have
a menacing
presence. Needs to be able to monologue, and he needs to be able to sound impressive.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because like you said, like the voice is a huge thing. That's why I know a lot of people were big on Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston would be awesome.
Bryan Cranston was bald and Breaking
pretty much
Bad.
played the part already.
Huh? Yeah, in a way, but like in my opinion, I still think he would have been the Lex Luthor, like the best Lex Luthor right now. And like I know it's dream casting, and we didn't really think it was going to happen. But just like the same thing, he had this menacingness to his voice. Who knows? Maybe Jesse Eisenberg can like pull it off.
I probably wouldn't be a fan of like Lex Luthor being all like schizo, like Batman, Superman.
Okay, it's just
Gal Gadot.
Just for the fun of it, you know. Minus no Bryan Cranston. If you were to cast someone to play Lex Luthor instead of Jesse Eisenberg, who would you
I have recently already seen what I thought was fucking brilliant Lex Luthor casting. It was in a College Humor video. They put a bald cap on John Hamm, and they had him be Lex Luthor in a comedy sketch, and it was awesome.
He was rumored for one of the people for Batman.
Well, no, he's honestly, he could go either way, but that's the mark of a really good villain or hero.
He would have actually a really good presence.
Yeah, and a hero's only as good as the villain, right?
Yeah, and
so if you have this amazing villain,
let's look at Don Draper. Don Draper is practically a villain himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's a weird anti-hero on the show. He kind of toes the line, but
he's such a creep.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is he does have this darkness, and I think John Hamm could definitely play the villain just as well as he plays like a lovable hero in $1 Million Arm or whatever.
As weird as it sounds, I want Benicio del Toro. I think it'd be hilarious.
The Collector?
Yes.
From Guardians of the Galaxy?
I guess you can't
The
cross.
Spanish?
You can't, yeah. I love him. He's hilarious. I like to see him.
That would be an interesting.
Let's bring up a picture of bald Benicio del Toro.
That'd be so weird. Actually, that'd be just.
But I think he could pull it off. He's very versatile. You think gonna stop
I'm
picking
just
bombs?
so serious.
I don't know. It would just be hard to pick picture. Like I could honestly like the Kingpin.
Yeah.
I could actually accept a black
That's
Lex
gonna ask-
Luthor,
was
but a
gonna ask what you
Spanish
thought
just
about
seems
racial,
weird.
Well, it's
about
the
racial profiling with the.
It's one thing if you change their race, that I'm fine with. But if they have an accent, then it's gonna get weird. Because it's like
He can hide it. He
I
can
would
hide it.
never be bothered by like a Latino Lex Luthor, a black Lex Luthor. But like if you made Christoph Waltz Lex Luthor and he had a really strong German accent, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
That would really bug me. Like I love Christoph Waltz,
Yeah.
and he's great at playing German characters. But even in Django Unchained, I thought it was like weird at first. And yeah, they ended up working it into the story that he was like this German guy, and well, anyways, I won't spoil anything. But
If you haven't seen Django,
yeah, if you haven't seen Django,
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I think there's like a year
and-
gap
and-
being
and-
allowed to spoil crap.
Oh no, that was the movie that it bothered me. And Christoph Waltz was in this movie called Carnage, and it was this awesome movie about these two families where one kid beats the other kid with a stick on the playground,
Yeah.
and now the two families come together to argue about it and whose fault it was and how they're going to make some sort of like reparations or apology between each other. And anyways, Christoph Waltz plays like this dad from New York, and yeah, I get that a dad from New York can be German, but sometimes an accent is just distracting.
Yeah.
That's,
No, yeah,
that's all it
sometimes,
comes
yeah.
down to. And Christoph Waltz sounded like he was really trying to get rid of his accent in that,
Yeah,
but it was still there, and it distracted me. So
You guys like a young Lex Luthor or old or how?
I would have preferred. I would have preferred a Lex Luthor who looked closer to at least Ben Affleck's age, so at least 40s.
40s.
But yeah,
That's just that is one of the things that does seem weird. Like he is
Because
super.
there's a few old actors
But
who I
here's
think
the
would
thing is-
really play
You know-
well.
you know who I was
Batman's the old one, Superman's
Yeah.
the young one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor
Okay,
is for
have you
Superman.
guys seen
Superman's
Red
supposed to be
State?
more for Red State.
Red
yeah,
State,
yeah.
the preacher in Red State. That's an amazing actor. I think he could pull it off.
You know who I was
He's an old-
thinking?
He's old, right?
You're gonna laugh when I say this. I was thinking this, and I was like, "This it couldn't work because he was already in Man of Steel." But I was thinking Kevin Costner for a second. I was like, "Hey, Kevin Costner." Because I was thinking of what was that?
Kevin
What was that one where he was
He's played some good
the
roles
serial
lately.
killer?
Oh, Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks.
Mr.
He was
Brooks
great
was
as a
great.
menacing
Yeah.
villain in that. And then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh wait a minute, he can't. He's Superman's dad." But then I was thinking Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Lex
You're just
Luthor.
thinking that because he's bald.
No, but he's got a menacing, like, he actually, the one thing I've always hated with Jason Statham is that if you watch Snatch,
Yeah.
and I guess there's a poster for sitting right there, but if you watch Snatch, he doesn't play like this badass, mean, tough guy. He plays a more like a sly, intelligent,
Yeah.
and he has big, like, speaking parts in it, and his character's not all about shooting up, and I always wish he did more roles like his character in Snatch instead of doing these stupid action films that he does.
He's.
And I think, honestly, not just because he's bald, but his voice is menacing, and I could actually handle an English Lex Luthor at the same
Yeah,
time.
he deserves more good movies. He's been in I'd say 1 in 10 are good for Jason Statham.
Honestly, besides
There's
Snatch,
so
I
many
don't
bad
think-
movies that he's
I
been
think I
in.
can think of a good movie besides Snatch.
Well, I think Expendables are pretty fun.
Since
Those
we're
are
all
fun
just picking
movies.
bald people,
Just
I'm gonna pick Paul Rash from Community because he's bald. So
That'd be
I, don't, I know you guys haven't really seen Community.
No, I know who he is.
but
He's that
he
skinny
plays
little-
the dean, and
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
"Ah, dean you later."
that skinny little.
Yeah,
He was in
that'd be a perfect Lex Luthor.
He was in actually speaking of that, he was in a movie called The Way Back. That was freaking awesome
I haven't
with
seen it.
what's his face?
I haven't seen it either.
What is that guy's name? He was in Seven Psychopaths. Sam Rockwell.
Oh, that's
yeah,
Sam
yeah.
He's
Rockwell.
Slither, and Steve Carell's in it too. And Steve Carell plays a great antagonist in it, and he's like
Sam Rockwell would be an amazing Lex Luthor. I like Sam Rockwell a lot.
I like Sam Rockwell, but the same thing would
Sam
come down to the
Rockwell-
voice thing.
Sam Rockwell is.
voice.
I was thinking the same thing again. It always comes down to voice for me.
Yeah.
I'm very audio driven.
Yeah.
Is Sam Rockwell? He's got that voice. Like I'm not gonna be able to do this, but he's like, hey, I'm Sam
Yeah.
Rockwell. It's just
Well,
so
I think his name was
cool.
Clancy Brown. He's the guy, the Kurgan in the Highlander I was trying to figure out earlier. He had the perfect voice. I don't know what he looks like nowadays, but I think he's aged pretty well.
Bring him up
Old
again.
Lex Luthor.
We're gonna look at him on screen.
If we're going with
If you're going with voice,
If we're going
it's
with
perfect.
bald,
It's perfect.
what about Pauly Shore? He's apparently
Pauly Shore.
Pauly
yeah.
Shore is bald.
Yeah.
So you should tell us, what do you think of Jesse Eisenberg being casted as Lex Luthor, and is it Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul? Is it Thanos or Thanos?
And do you guys think next week Michael Barker should say something?
Yeah. What will Mike say?